Hello and welcome to today's anatomy question. I'm Lizzie Lasater, joined by Judith Hanson Lasater. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Lizzie. Hi, everyone.
Today we're continuing our 30 Essential Yoga Poses series, which comes from Mom's book. Where is it? Wonderful book, 30 Essential Yoga Poses. So in this series, we're going through pose by pose and asking for a new idea to inspire us for an old pose that we know. These are all the kind of greatest hits of yoga asana. Today, we're looking at bound angle pose, which is pose number 25. Anything you want to say before we move to the mat, Mom?
Yes. Generally, we take up yoga in its broadest sense because we're sort of tired of the habits of the way we move, how our body feels. Maybe we're have breathing issues, or we get colds a lot, or we're not enjoying breathing in the way we would like. And our mind is spinning, and we think, oh, yoga with its asana and pranayama and meditation would be really useful to break out of habits of standing and slouching and not breathing well. So then we do that. And then what happens in very human nature to all of us is that we then make this new thing a habit. So we do the same poses, sometimes in some traditions in the same order, but we do the poses the same way every time. And so I'd like to offer you a couple variations to step out of our habit with Baddha Konasana. So if you would go to the mat.
Yes, absolutely. I want to say one thing before I do. Hopefully, you are subscribed to our newsletter, which you can find here at www.experientialanatomy.yoga. We send out tons of free videos and content, and it's all building to our flagship course that is available once a year. I'm going to pin myself.
I would like to say it's not it's experiential. It's not experimental. We're not experimenting on you. It's experiential. We're experiencing the anatomy from the inside out.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to pin myself. So Mama's still here. We just won't see her big. What do we need with us on the mat?
We need a couple blankets, I think.
Okay, let me readjust and I'll get a couple blankets. Maybe a block?
No, probably not. Maybe. Okay. Why not?
Let's be optimistic.
All right. So I'd like you just to turn to the side and sit in Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, but turn all the way so we can see your back. So a lot of people, when they sit, move the block because it's the color of the block. No, the blankets, I'm sorry, move the blankets away. So we just see the floor. Yeah, it's still, yeah, separate from your body. Can you round back a little bit? Some people are sitting almost like that or with the knees up. And yeah, like this. That's when you need the blankets. So why don't you show how to sit on the blankets, the edge? Just
okay,
briefly.
so when you're doing this pose, if you find that your knees are lifting or your back is rounding, this
Yes.
are tighter yogi friends who would really enjoy taking a blanket or two, folding them, and then you turn them to the corner. So the corner is pointing forward on your mat. And then I'm going to sit on the corner in a way that tips my pelvis forward so it can drop down.
There we go. So we start from that position, and that position in and of itself might be enough for you. But I'd like you now to turn and face forward so we can show some variations. So here's what's going on anatomically. In your hip joint, your femur bone, your thigh bone is externally rotating. And if we always stretch or bend forward or stay in the same position, then we're stretching the muscles around the hip joint, and there are many of them, especially the rotators and the adductors, exactly the same way. So what I'm going to suggest that you do first is you bend forward slightly with an exhalation and feel a little stretch around your hips. Do you feel a little stretch around your hips? Yeah. Where do you feel it? In the back?
I feel it inside.
And a little bit the outside. Rotators
Yeah.
in the back, adductors on the front. So now what I'd like you to do, come up, inhale your breath, exhale, and move your feet toward the camera about 3 inches.
Mm.
Now inhale the breath, exhale, and come forward. So does that change the pose?
Yes.
No. Changes your experience of the pose. The pose is the pose. It hasn't changed since time began. But now you're stretching. You've created a different position of the head of the femur in the socket of the hip, the acetabulum, and you've created a different relationship there. So the muscles have to work in a different way. And now you're stretching in another way. So you could do a whole thing with teaching this or practicing feet together and then a little bit out, a little bit out, a little bit out. You could do that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So that was just moving the heels away from the pubic bone.
Yes, and don't start as tightly in as you can get your heels. Can you show that?
Yeah, that's a default for many of us.
Be a little diagonal so we can see you better. Yeah.
Is to bring the heels in super close.
Yeah. Because then notice that your knees can't breathe.
No.
So now take the feet out a little further, like you just did. Now, can you catch inside the knee and kind of lengthen the calf muscle? You might be able to see it better on your back leg too. Yeah, like that.
Just kind of opening, yeah.
Yeah. So then I can offer you one more. In conclusion, I can offer you one more variation just for fun. So leave your left foot where it is and put your right foot, the heel, next to the toes. Move it out further and put it in a line. Yes. So now your right heel is touching your left toes. Now you're asymmetrical. Now try that.
Bizarre.
Everything's bizarre the first time. Getting kissed was bizarre, but you did it again anyway. Your first kiss felt strange. All right, inhale. Now exhale, come forward. Stretch out, not down. Yes. Now breathe to the sensation. Focus on the sensation in the body, the sensation of breath, and then only move when your body says it's ready to let go. Move at the speed of the body, and it's likely you won't injure yourself. Don't breathe at the speed of the mind, because yesterday I put my chest down. Up you come. How was that?
I liked it.
Change. Reverse. If you expect this to feel the same, you're going to be greatly disappointed. Inhale the breath. Tip from the pelvis. Don't bring the spine first. Don't leave the spine behind. The pelvis and the spine move at the same rhythm in this dance. Now, is it different? So stopping there at that place of sensation. Don't push past it. Don't run away from it. Create just enough stretch so you can be with it. Companionate the stretch. Settle into the stretch. Settle into the moment. Breathe. And if and when your body says, I'm ready, move then. Further or deeply into the pose or slightly out of the pose. The body can really lead us in asana. And that takes us away from the swirling mind and brings us into the present moment. Inhaling, come up.
Wow. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for offering us that. I really enjoyed it.
Turn your palms away from the body. Inhale the breath. Exhaling, bring the palms together in front of the heart. Namaste.
Namaste.
And we live like the lotus at home in the muddy water. Thank you.
It's muddy. It's muddy out there. It's muddy.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Thank you, Mama. Here's the book, 30 Essential Yoga Poses, Essential Reading, Essential on Any Yogi's Bookshelf by Judith Hanson Lasater. And the newsletter, the place to join all the fun that we're having, all the experiential anatomy fun, is here at experientialanatomy.yoga. Thank you so much.